Moving on, we do our top 10 hottest comics of the week based off of Cover Price's top 10 weekly top 10 list that they reveal every week. However, our show's on Friday. They reveal it on Monday. We still like to talk about it because Chris does a great job with dissecting three books that are the most interesting ones to him on that list. So here we are. We have at number 10, number 5, Thor number 5 is the first appearance of Black Winter. Hot, hot, hot. At number 9, we have Venom 26, the first appearance of Virus by market release, people, because you have that free comic day issue. That's a whole nother debate. That's fun, actually. Number 8 is Ice Cream Man. Number 20, Dr. Seuss variant. Number 7 is Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knight. Number 1, first appearance of the Robin King, the Andrews 1 in 25 variant. Number 6 is Amazing Spider-Man 375, which is getting some heat because of what's going on in Venom. Number 5 is Dark Knight's Metal. Death Metal. Number 3, the FEDERICI variant. Sorry if I mispronounced that. First Robin King cover, though. Beautiful cover. Venom number 27, the Stegman variant. And 3 is the Immortal Hulk. Number 2, fourth print, the first appearance of Dr. FRYE. Number 2 is Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knight number 1. And the number 1 on the list is Venom number 27, the JONBOY MEYERS double cover error. That has got everybody in a tizzy. Chris, time to dissect.
Yeah, very, very interesting stuff going on. To be honest, I wasn't as excited about this one as I've been in the last weeks, mainly because there wasn't a lot of changes except for that number 1. Very strange situation. But let's just go into it. Starting my list, we're going to talk about Dark Knight's Death Metal number 3, first Robin King cover. Again, when you talk about, and this goes to Isaac's point, and I think Jay even touched on, what Marvel has been doing with the metal line. I mean, it's similar. You can say it's similar to what Cates has been doing with his runs over the last few years, and it's really been hitting. I think with a lot of those older head collectors saying, "Look, this is what we want out of modern comics." So not only is there speculative value in this one, as well as many, because we're seeing a lot of first appearances, but people are reading the stories and diving into these characters. The storylines and characters are fleshed out, and I think that's what allows this series to continue to go and go and go, especially at a time where we see so much changing with both Marvel and DC, where DC just announced a lot of cancellations, changes behind the scenes, and so forth. I think this is going to stick around for a long time. It's extremely popular. This book alone, a CGC 9.8 has already sold for $125. High raw sales are hitting $20 already. So again, just more success. I think, we've had a death metal book on the list, at least for the last few weeks. And I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. Any thoughts to that, guys?
Love the cover. Such a dope Robin King cover. That's it right now. You said it the best. That Marvel has their Venom and Thor, and this is what DC has right now. A lot of shakeups in DC, but this is holding strong, man. I think an absolute great book to have. Slab it, guys. That's that card stock. You got a good chance of that coming back a 9.9, perhaps. Beautiful book.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the detail on that face, he is just creepy as hell. But, this is what is holding DC up, and it should be, because Scott Snyder is killing it. And I think, Jay, you said it in another, I don't know what show you were on, but Scott Snyder is kind of like Donny Cates, right?
Yep.
Right there, right. So they're both killing it, those guys, and really kind of the tentpole of each of those publishers. So I'm excited to see what DC does. I know there were those layoffs, and that's very unfortunate. It could be, AT&T mismanaging their property. We'll see. Hopefully, again, we only want good things happening for DC, because good things will happen for Marvel, good things will happen for Image, good things will happen for all the independents and the industry as a whole. So again, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, good days ahead for DC. But moving on, Chris, we have your second book you'd like to discuss.
All right. Going back to Marvel, Immortal Hulk, number 2, first appearance of Dr. FRYE. Now, this book kind of goes back to stuff that was just brought up a few minutes back in the show, but this is the first appearance of Dr. FRYE. A lot of speculation right now on Dr. FRYE. Could this be the new, Hulksters of the Hulk. But look, I'm going to put that aside real quick because I want to talk about this book for the simple fact that this is the 4th printing, and it is a very low print run. Okay. The reason why I want to bring this up and focus on that as the reason why I picked this book is because I hear so many people talking about it's, the market is crap right now. It's just like the 90s. All these speculators are going to ruin the market. Here's the thing. We aren't I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. It isn't speculators that ruined the market in the 90s and made it crash. It's the publishers that saw how hot speculating was and decided to print 8 million copies of a book. That's what killed it. So now the industry has evolved and adapted to say, look, we're going to release a book on a lower print run. If it gets hot and we cut that print run where it is, that value of that book is going to increase. It's going to increase on the secondary market. Then we're going to go with a second or a third or a fourth print run. And what that's doing now is it's driving these third, fourth print runs to, in a sense, be more hyped and speculated on than sometimes the first print of the book, because it's all about those low print runs and what's the hardest that you can get, or which print run is the hardest that you can get your hands on. So there's a nice, refreshing dynamic that's going on here that's allowing the market to stay fresh. And I absolutely love that. I had to point that out. And again, I just think it's extremely healthy for the publishers, because they can put those second and third and fourth prints on the market and get that cash flow and that revenue, while the secondary market is still, driving up sales and making it healthy for consumers and sellers as a whole.
Completely different story than the 90s. I mean, perfect example, Death of Superman. People thought they'd put their kids through college getting those books, right?
Absolutely. Those McFarlane Spider-Mans, those Jim Lee X-Men's.
This is the new way of doing it, and the publishers are actually they're on point, I think, and they really have tapped into what the fans want. The fans are happy with it, publishers are happy with it, and they're not oversaturating the market with all of these books. So that's a good thing.
Going back to my all-in with that Venom #3, that's what changed the market for a third printing and a second printing and a fourth printing. That Venom 3 Null on the first cover changed the game. Now everybody's grabbing. Look how they're up to fourth and fifth printings of Thor, of Venom. Yeah. You guys see it. That book changed the game. Everyone's grabbing. Let me grab the second. Let me grab the third. Now Marvel's putting out these books, and they're selling a ton of books because you don't know which one is going to blow up. That's why, when collectors say collect what you want and collect what you like, and if it hits, guys. Otherwise, don't go crazy grabbing all these different prints, man. If you like a cover, grab it, because everything's not going to be that book. And Marvel knows this, and that's why you've never seen so many prints come out of a book. They know what's going on in the game right now, and everyone, including myself, is feeding into it. So that's where we're at, man.
They got a good thing going right here. I don't know how you're going to criticize this too, right? Because you're going to see a cover that like, whoa, that blows me away. That Thor, the one where he's busting through the head of Galactus is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal cover. So how can you say no to that as a collector? Anyways, but speaking of saying no to this next one, I bet you every collector that's watching right now absolutely wants this one on the list, Chris. What is it?
Man, I mean, we've seen some interesting stuff happen. We've seen double covers, but I don't think it's been like this before. And this is a Venom 27. So the JONBOY double cover error. Now, the little backstory is it was a retail exclusive, was added to the 1/100 variant. So it's not your standard double cover, right? Only about 480 copies were sent out, and the rest were destroyed. Get this, the high seller, $820 raw. This is just crazy. This is like, I don't know if we've seen an error quite like this before. And ironically, it had to happen to a Venom book right now, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just crazy. It's really funny and humorous. And boy, those I bet there's out of those 480 copies that went out, I wonder how many of them got their hands on it, not knowing what they were picking up.
Yeah, well, you know what? They're pretty happy that they did.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. But like, is this gonna? How is this gonna affect all those other two covers? Like, you know what I mean?
So my thoughts on it is destroyed. Who's destroying that book?
Yeah.
I want to see the CGC or CBCS, or if people even mess with PGX or whatever type of grading company a year from now, how many of those are actually, in the census? Because
Right.
if that book, there's a good chance there could be boxes and boxes of those. Who's going to destroy a comic book nowadays, guys? Especially a double cover. It's not like it was in the 80s and the 90s. Distributors know what they're doing. Comic book stores know what they're doing. Collectors know what they're doing. We'll see how much that could actually hurt the value. That actual real 1 in 100 could end up being the book if this gets oversaturated with an error book,
Yeah. I mean, how many people are working for Diamond? They're like, I'll destroy it and put that whole case in their damn car. Like it's what's stopping you from doing? That's what. Anyways, this is very interesting. Kind of a unique situation too. So, anyways, all right. So that is our top 10 hottest comic books of the week.